Public speaking. Is it a skill you're born with, or is it something that we can improve? I want to try and give you 5 pieces of advice I learned can help you improve your speaking skills. Let's go. Ciao, hello. The first thing to think about is your body language. When you're speaking, don't feel too nervous. Try to enjoy the moment, and one of the best things that I do is walk around. This makes me instantly feel more confident. I know what you're thinking though. Walking around is easier said than done. Are you crazy? How does that work? Well, the fact of the matter is, it just takes confidence. And when I do it, it gives me time to think, time to explore as you're walking around, and takes away from the pressure of the moment. Trust me, it's a great technique and tip you can use. Next, one thing I love to do is focus on 3 people. 1 in the 12 o'clock position, 1 in the 10 o'clock position, and 1 in the 3 o'clock position, all in the audience. By doing this and having 3 points to focus on, it takes away from the rest of the audience and the pressure of the moment. Make sure you smile at them as well. Think about this kid here. He's not overthinking anything when it comes to public speaking. He's just going with the flow. Remember guys, when writing a speech, you're just looking to have different talking points. Don't write out the full speech because it won't sound good. Try to have 5 or 10 talking points that excite you the most. I recently was asked to give a speech about my life in Vietnam, and I prepared 5 things to talk about. Food, the weather, the people, the price of everything, and the differences in culture. From these, I was able to tell stories. Stories are the secret to success. Imagine for a second you're one of these fishermen sitting by the river, minding your own business, just enjoying your time sat there, thinking of a story to say. It's just like that when giving a speech. My advice is to try and tell a story. Here's an example. Last week, I was invited to Hanoi to give a speech about culture, and one of the students asked me, Charles, have you ever experienced culture shock? Well, yes, I have indeed. Let me tell you about it. Years ago, when I arrived in Vietnam, I traveled to my wife's hometown in Long An. This is when we first got together. And all of her family came to visit me once I got out the car. The whole village was waiting for me, 40 people. When I saw her mum, I ran over and said, Xin chào mẹ, nice to meet you. And then I gave her a big kiss. Mwah, mwah. I think we all know in Vietnamese culture, it's a big no-no to kiss people on the cheek. But the audience engaged with it. They all laughed and thought it was fantastic. And that's how I conveyed the message and told a story about a time I had experienced culture shock. So this is something I want you to think about when you're making your next speech. How can you tell a story to influence the audience? Even if it's a funny story, it'll make them remember it even more. Anyway, on to the next point, I think. One other thing people do when they're doing a speech is that they try to rush. They try to finish it as fast as possible. But the result of this is that the audience have not had time to process what they say. So I always tell my students about the power of a pause, letting a moment hang in the air for a while. Do you understand? So when I'm talking, I might do something like this. Have you ever thought about the meaning of life? No, neither have I. But today, ladies and gentlemen, that is what we are going to do together. The power of a pause gives people time to think and process the ideas, the thoughts that you are delivering to them. And this can be really powerful at emphasizing the point that you want to make, as I just showed back there. When you're speaking, smile, have fun with the audience, and take risk. Don't be afraid of this. Step outside your comfort zone, make that risky joke, because ultimately you will connect with the audience. But to be honest, guys, I think the biggest risk I took today was wearing these new trousers.